everybody, Ed here with the Digital Digest, and today I wanted to share a quick unboxing and first look at the Samsung Gear VR. Priced at $200 US, you're looking at the first and least expensive mass-manufactured Oculus VR headset to date. Of course, it is an accessory for the Galaxy Note 4. This does not work with any other smartphone on the market, so don't be fooled by the fact that it's part of Samsung's Gear line of products that generally work with a variety of Samsung phones. It's only going to work with the Note 4. So basically, Samsung partnered with Oculus to design this virtual reality headset, again at $200, that allows you to just drop your phone in, cover it up with that plastic shield that you see right here, and then all of the Oculus end of tech is, of course, inside the headset. In order to facilitate a realistic and really best-in-class virtual reality experience. And what's unique about this, by the way, it is dubbed the Innovator Edition because this is the first generation. And for those of you wondering why you wouldn't just buy a traditional Oculus Rift, that's because the Oculus Rift is really aimed at PC use, PC gaming specifically. That doesn't mean that those are its boundaries or it's defined by that, but that's its best application. Samsung, on the other hand, wanted something that was marketable to the masses, aka everyone who owns a Note 4 or might be interested in one. And quite frankly, this is a must-have accessory if you own a Note 4. Now, if you've purchased it outright retail, it's an expensive proposition, but if you did get your phone subsidized, $200 makes this virtual reality experience not only affordable, but nearly, I would say, impractical to pick up, considering it's the first device of its kind, again, to be mass marketed. So you can see the phone gets popped in, essentially controls on the right-hand side, very similar to Google Glass in terms of navigation. I won't say very, but definitely similar. And then just three examples total. Basically, home theater enjoyment using this, the ability to have full virtual reality 360-degree views of whatever content, not whatever, but specific content on this device, and then virtual reality when it comes to gaming. In terms of what comes in the box, of course, they mention you need that Note 4. It will not work with anything else, and especially not on its own. It's essentially just lenses and a piece of headgear. There are VR apps from the Oculus Store, and that's where the growth really begins. That's why this is the Innovator Edition. Samsung wants to see if there is a market for this. A gamepad is also sold separately for gaming. I'm not sure whether or not the Shield controller will work with this, but that should be interesting. And then last but not least, a 16 gig micro SD card is in there that has some great native content for this. Do not delete that information. In fact, you might want to back it up because there is no image, as far as I'm aware, that you're able to get access to other than the one that comes inside this box. So with that out of the way, let me go ahead and crack the seal. But I wanted to give everyone a rundown of what to actually expect with this, because I think a lot of people view this as just a toy, whereas the traditional Oculus Rift in both revisions, even though all of these products are in most senses, I would say, developer, early adopter type devices, this is the first one to really be marketed to the public. So there we have it. It does come with its own carrying case. I'm going to go ahead and put this down the top. And what you can see is that already the polish of a consumer product. Samsung wants you to be able to feel that you can travel with this. After all, it's great for commutes, long flights, basically anytime you want to kill time and have an experience unlike ever offered or available before, and at a price point that, again, is very reasonable. In terms of what else is in here, I'm assuming we've got some paperwork and some accessories. Let's see. So basically the getting started guide, which I expected to see. And then we have a foam replacement for the piece that's on the actual, basically where you rest your face on the Oculus. And I'm going to call this an Oculus because that is really what the Gear VR is. After all, this is an Oculus. It may only say that Oculus was a partner, but all of the tech outside of the Note 4 itself is really all about what Oculus has done right. So a lot to like here in terms of what you're getting again at $200. There's the headset, the reveal. You can see the pouch right here has some extra storage. It is Velcroed. And let's see what actually is in there. So we've got what appears to be a cleaning cloth. And there is the SD card, the micro SD card with the adapter. So remember, back that up because it has all that native content designed for the headset and the VR experience. Now, it's pretty lightweight. Things falling apart already. Plastic. On top of plastic, you can see I've got quite a bit of plastic to pull off of this. I'm not going to do that right now. And then this part that fell off in the process is the head strap. So that'll get mounted right through that slot here as it velcros itself to the case simultaneously. And really lightweight, which I think is critical in using something like this for a long period of time. Definitely looks a lot nicer than the traditional Oculus Rift. And in terms of practicality and portability, mobility, not being dependent on a PC is a very big transition for the VR concept. So this just pops off, at least to my knowledge. There we go. And again, really, I think that's just to protect the unit itself. A little bit odd that the pieces that should have been protecting the lenses were totally off center and stuck here. But there you can see where you mount the phone. You can see the micro USB port right there, and then the two lenses. And this is what Oculus, after all, developed and is famous for. You can adjust right here to your vision. So if you wear glasses, need correction, don't worry about it. Near or farsighted, you'll be basically taken care of. Behind the strap right here that needs to be adjusted is that control pad I mentioned for navigating through menus and making selections, a dedicated back button, I believe a volume rocker. I'm looking what else we've got here. A bit of branding, and it appears that's it. I'm looking for where the micro SD card slot is. I did not see it, but I will find it, don't worry. And then this is the pad I was mentioning earlier that you got, the included replacement, because this is going to wear with time, especially if you actually do put it through some heavy use. But really impressive product. And again, for those of you that have been waiting for virtual reality to make its way into your home, Samsung has given you the opportunity if you own a Note 4. And just to give you an idea of what this looks like and or how simple it is, you just pop the phone in and you can hear it's already activating. It's not falling out, but it's pretty clear to me why Samsung would want another piece of plastic, just another layer of protection to be there in the event that something did give way. Then again, this comes off relatively easy, but it does take applying pressure here. And then in terms of comfort, I'm not trying this on right now, I expect it to be pretty solid. Definitely a little bit of weight because you got a Note 4 in there now. If I would have gone with the stock back cover rather than the wireless charging that I use on a daily basis, even a little less weight. But the point is, again, the least expensive virtual reality experience available and the first to be marketed really to everyone. So great that they include this carry case. Excited to use it. The marketplace for applications should only grow with time. And again, even though this is the Innovator Edition, which means it's something that might sound reminiscent to this, which was a complete flop, this, I believe, is the beginning of a very successful road to making VR a reality, because most people don't buy their phones off contract like myself, and that makes this, just as I mentioned earlier, such an inexpensive way to have an experience that otherwise not only isn't available, but also wasn't economically feasible. So a lot to like here. Really excited to get this in my hands finally. I've seen what it looks like, what it can do, and it's just going to be great to experience it. Keep in mind what it actually projects inside in each lens is in 3D. So it's not just the whole idea of the 360, but it's also three-dimensional. You can also do 2D content, of course, and watch home video, any content you want. Add headphones because it does have access for the ports right here for your headphone jack coming out of your Note 4. But the critical thing to remember is this will only work with the Note 4. So we finally have virtual reality at home, $200. It may seem like a lot. One thing, the final closing note, is that for those of you that are wondering, is it $200 just for the plastic mold and the lenses? No, there are sensors in here. The balance of the tech that Oculus has patented and proven with the original and revision of the Rift in order to complete the entire experience, so that when you actually tilt your head, the camera track, or the virtual reality experience moves with you, because clearly the Note 4 can't do that on its own. Even though it does drive and power, it is essentially the brain and display of this. Also, because it's relying on that gorgeous Super AMOLED 5.7-inch display that you get on the Note 4, this is, without any hesitation, the best visual experience you're going to get from a VR device, because the Oculus Rift itself doesn't employ anywhere near as high a quality display in terms of its own kit. So a lot to like here. Again, really excited to share it with all of you. Hope you enjoyed the unboxing. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to post them. And of course, as usual, please feel free to subscribe. Later.